Now, I've got not a great deal of time to waste through a huge amount of demos. And before I kick off, I just want to say I am absolutely taking my life in my own hands here, working to a noisy, open environment with some pretty ropey Wi-Fi by the time you've all jumped on it. I am using insider builds of Windows and Office, so I'm slightly ahead of the curve on beta software. And this is genuinely my machine, so I apologize in advance if you get all sorts of pop-ups or emails and things you shouldn't be seeing. It's just what it is. And I'm also going to show some demos off of my phone, a wonderful Samsung Note 9, and again, how we can interact across the two. So again, apologies if my kids go, oh, look at this, Dad, and just send something through that's inappropriate. But I just feel that a demo done live is much more real. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is how people can use AI to get things like PowerPoint presentations that much better, that much quicker. So I'm sure you've all done this. You open up PowerPoint, you think about the message you want to get across, you open up a blank PowerPoint, and you just put a bunch of text and black on white bullet points. And then you sit there going, well, how am I going to impress my customer? How am I going to impress my boss or my team? I want to make that look good. Well, if you're using Office Pro Plus, the cloud-connected versions, we can get the power of AI in the cloud to help you. So all I need to do is click on Design Ideas, and it will go up to the cloud and automatically, with one click, allow me to format that, to make it look nicer. So let's go on through my presentation, and this is my look mum no hands moment. I don't have to do anything, but it's going to come up with a range of ways that I can format the slides. So with one click, I've got a beautiful looking slide. As I go on and I look at my goals, again, I've got a range of options down here. Let's just pick this one. Now, the important thing to note here is look at the icons that are coming back. It's talking about sustainable energy with a light bulb. Environmental impact, it's got a little tree. Emotional connection, and it's got a little heart. That's because the text is going up to the cloud, and it's intelligently looking at it and bringing back appropriate icons. Now, for those of you who are in project management, I'm sure you have this challenge of how do you make timelines look good, right? Well, lots and lots of fiddling around, or let Design Ideas do all the work for you. And with one click, I can simply get my timelines formatted any way I like. And then lastly, what happens if you want to introduce a load of pictures onto text? So all I have to do is dump the pictures, and the AI will make it look good for me. And to do this, I'm actually just going to show you, oh, my clipboard is empty. Let's see if I can get, there we go. So in the Best Blue Peter traditions, here's some I prepared earlier. Just put 3 images on the screen, and automatically the AI is just formatting that for me so I can pick whichever way I want. So once I've got my slides, I'm ready to present. Then I have to consider the fact that the audience might not speak English, they may be hard of hearing. I might want to do what we're already doing here, of course, and providing some subtitles. But you may not be able to afford to have somebody come in and do that. So if I go into presentation mode, but I switch on use subtitles, then what you'll see once I start this presentation, and hopefully this awful audio, which is why I'm wearing a little Bluetooth headset, is that this will hopefully pick up my mic. And in a second, what you should start to see is that the subtitles kick in, and I don't have to worry about what I'm saying or how quick I'm saying it. And you should see subtitling provided by PowerPoint and AI in the cloud at about 95% accuracy. Again, I apologize if it gets anything wrong. The really smart thing here, by the way, is it can do that in 60 languages. So I don't have to have the subtitles in English. I normally ask the audience who speaks a language they want to challenge me on here. I did get Welsh once. We do support Welsh. I'm just going to hope that maybe we have a few more French speakers out there. I'm going to switch this back on again. And now what you should see is that the subtitles will kick in, but in French. Now, I can't tell you whether these are right or wrong. Hopefully, some people out there will nod and go, do you know what? I can at least understand it. There we go. So, oh, I didn't pick French. I'm not even entirely sure what language I picked up. It looks like some Nordic language there. But you get the point. Now, where this gets really clever is if I am in a multilingual, put a QR code up at the beginning, you can scan that QR code and you can pick any of 60 languages to watch the subtitles in. So really, really impressive in terms of helping communicate with people, making it easier for them to understand. I'm going to get rid of those for now, simply because Finnish isn't going to be a lot of use, and we've obviously got subtitles up here. But that engine that we have powering our cloud applications is the same engine across them all. So let's supposing that you need to do an awful lot of email and you break your arm. You now need accessibility capabilities. You can dictate into Outlook. using the same engine that I just showed you there. And that's really the power of it. So I'm just going to show you one other thing, and this one is pre-canned, I'll be honest with you, just because of time today. This is Excel. Now, one of the things you get if you use the cloud-connected versions of the Office applications is you get the ability to do co-authoring here. So you can see in this spreadsheet, I've got two people accessing the same spreadsheet at the same time. It saves all of that standing up in the office and shouting, who's in the forecasting spreadsheet? Can you all get out, please? I need to update it. Right? You can just have everybody go into the same documents. This works across Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and you can see who you're editing it with. It shows you which cell they're in. It manages all of the updates for you. Now, here is a classic sales spreadsheet, and what I might want to do is graph this to get to the insight from the data. So as you saw me with design ideas in PowerPoint, I've got the same ideas in Excel. And what you've seen here is it's had a look at my data, it's sent that up to the cloud and done some AI on it and said, this is the way to graph this in order to show you the insight from the data, because that's really where the value comes, right? Not just can I make it look pretty, but what's the data trying to tell me? And so in this case, with one click again, it will graph it and show me and highlight for me that this is the outlying information that you might want to go drill into. So again, if you're using the cloud-connected versions, a lot of AI, whether in PowerPoint, in Excel, to just help people, get that richness much easier. Now, one thing that I talked about at the beginning, people going into meetings with pen and paper. I'd like to see pen and paper as a competitor, and we should all get rid of it. Who's using OneNote? Most of the audience. Excellent. So I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time. For those of you who aren't, OneNote is basically a note-taking application. You can have lots of different notebooks, as you can see here, lots of different pages and different tabs, like folder tabs across the top as well. This is, again, all my live information, and I've kind of cleansed this. But one of the key things that people forget is that OneNote can be put on a SharePoint site and then used by multiple people to edit the same documents, the same pages at the same time. So where this becomes really powerful is, let's say you're preparing for a customer meeting or a business review. All you have to do is just open up a OneNote and get all the members of your team to start populating different pages, etc., knowing that the team leader who's ever going to present has then got all the latest information. And of course, in OneNote, you can put any kind of information on here. You can see that I've copied in text, we've got tables, we've got charts, we've got graphic images. If you've got a pen and you want to use this as your main note-taking application, then you can, of course, squiggle and write on it as well. If you do handwriting, it will recognize that handwriting, and it's all searchable. So the beauty here is I can search 15 years worth of notes that I have in PowerPoint. So if, for example, I type HP, I've had many, many meetings with our partners like HP, and it will just find every note from every meeting I've ever been in with HP, whether that was a handwritten note or text, etc. The other thing that's really useful, I talked about, let's say you're in a meeting and you get an action, and you don't want to forget that action. So if I take an action here, so let's say Robert takes action, I make a note whilst I'm there, and all I actually have to do is flag that in OneNote as an Outlook task and choose when I want to get it completed. So let's say I need to get that work done today. I flag it, and you can just see down here the little flag has popped up. Now, that's all I'm going to do, but that will flow through my Exchange tasks and into Microsoft To Do. And that will then appear on my phone, and I can do the reverse. I can add tasks on my phone and know that they will follow me around. So OneNote is my note-taking application. But if you really want to get rid of all paper, I'm sure you've all got lots of little Post-it notes that you stick things on your computer, on your monitor, etc. You can get rid of those as well now using sticky notes, which is in Windows 10. You'll see a little pen icon in the bottom. You don't have to use a pen, but you can. And here, for example, are the demos that I want to do today. And rather than write them down, I just created them on a sticky note. They're available to me on my phone so that I can see them. So sticky notes is a really nice way of carrying information through. But I also might want to have a look at my tasks, because obviously we're getting into task management. And this is the Microsoft To Do application. This is available for free on all devices. Go into your favorite app store and download it. And the beauty, again, is AI is starting to play in. So again, this is all mine live. I apologize for any tasks. I've got all my personal stuff in here as well. So the AI kicks in and says, well, what are the tasks you need to do today? And it looks at the task that I had yesterday and didn't complete, because my day always starts clear. And it reminds me that there were some things I was supposed to do yesterday that I didn't get to, or anything that was dated that I haven't got around to completing yet, or tasks that are coming up that I probably need to get onto, or meetings that are coming up. And it starts making suggestions so that I can just simply build my day by clicking, yeah, I need to do that, I need to do that, etc., etc. It makes it really, really simple. Now, I can also flag emails. So if I have emails that have actions, they show up here as well. And then tasks. Now this, in a second, it takes a little bit of a while just to refresh, should bring up that task I created in OneNote. So as you saw, I'm in the meeting, I type the task that I've got to do, flag it, and that's all I have to worry about. And it will then flow, hopefully, into my task on here. But I say it does take a quick second to renew. So whilst that's refreshing, I want to show you how all of this migrates to work on my phone as well. So again, hoping that this works, let's switch over to my phone display. There we go. Now, as I said, I'm using a Samsung Note 9 here because that also gives me a pen capability, so I can open up OneNote and I can take all of those notes. What I'm showing here, however, is the Microsoft Launcher. So if you're on Android, then you can add the Microsoft Launcher to be your home screen, and it brings all of your Microsoft 365 together and makes it really, really easy, to connect and just see your whole day in one go. Now you'll notice at the top there, that's actually Cortana. And Cortana is now being that digital assistant and looking through all my emails, all my calendars, and making sure that I don't miss tasks. So here you can see I must have had an email where I said, okay, I can either do this at Friday or 1, and it's flipping up going, you might want to think about completing that task. It gives me the option. You can see here I've got all my calendar appointments, again, from both my personal and my work M365 account, if I choose to log in with those credentials. And I can go straight to the meeting as well. So if any of these were Teams meetings, you can literally just press from the home screen and launch the team meetings. Now here's all my sticky notes. So there is exactly the same sticky note that you saw on my screen earlier. And so if I'm out and about, I can still start a new sticky note, take the note, and it will flip back onto my PC. And then here's my tasks. And there it is. Oops, synced 20 minutes ago. Let's just try and do a new sync. But all my tasks are flowing in from the to-do application as well. And if I'm out and about, I can just press plus, and it'll add tasks, and that flows across all my devices because it's all cloud synced. I can also see there, any pictures. It even shows me what applications and how long I've spent on my phone, just to allow me to be a little bit more productive. So we've sort of shown a lot around how the Android launcher, Microsoft Launcher, makes my phone, brings the richness of M365 to my phone. As an example here, here is OneNote on the phone. Again, this is a free application, so if you're not already using it, whether you're on iPhone, Android, etc., you can go and get this. And here was the page that we were editing earlier. Again, this should go and sync, and you should be able to see the scribbles. There you go. Those are the scribbles that I made earlier, and you should be able to see the task. So without having to touch anything, there's the task that I set myself earlier. All right, it's just synced across everything, so I'm always being productive, whether on my phone and out and about, etc. And then the last thing, of course, is don't forget we have the Office applications on mobile now as well. And that brings some amazing AI as well. So if I open up Excel, for example, there's a spreadsheet. Now I've got a piece of paper. This is for demo purposes rather than something that I actually use. So imagine you go and visit a customer or a supplier and they give you a piece of paper with a bunch of orders or a forecast, etc. And you've got to go, great, I've got to go rekey that. Or you use the AI that's built in. So you can see at the bottom here, I've got a picture with a camera. That will open up the camera and I can just picture over the text. It'll recognize where the page is, take the photo, that will do. And then it will send that off to the cloud. It will do OCR on it and turn it into text. And then it will actually drop it into the spreadsheet for me as well. And then it starts to flag, the text that it's created and the picture in the image so that I can verify it and make sure that it's all completely accurate. So, as you can see, I've got the power of all the applications on any device. I'm just going to switch very quickly back to my device now and talk about Teams. Because Teams is where this all comes together. Now, I'm sure you've seen, hopefully, lots of presentations on Teams throughout the day. I'm not going to get into too much detail. But what Teams does is it's a chat client. And you can see here I've got lots of individual chats, lots of group chats. I can create teams and channels for all of that. But it takes away the user from having to worry about where was that document, where is that OneNote, etc., etc. It all just flows together. So here, for example, is this conversation that I was having with some colleagues around prepping for a key meeting with the Met Police. And you can see in that chat that we're able to put little GIFs and animations to bring the whole thing a little bit more to life. We can put the documents straight into the chat, so I don't have to worry about which SharePoint or which server file those are on against. And I can also see notes from the meeting, so I've got my meeting notes, etc. Now, where this gets really clever is, obviously, we can go to video, we can do audio conferencing, but I can also record those conversations. So if we had a member of the team who wasn't able to join the call, I can just naturally record the meeting for them to play back later. So here is that meeting, and if I start playing it back, this is all securely done from Stream. What you'll see is the video conferencing that we were running. You'll see that we're able to share documents and so forth. And what's really clever with this is the same audio that you saw me use in PowerPoint is taking notes of everything said in the meeting as well, which means you can search the text of meetings. So here we are sharing, in fact, those were the demos that I did for the Met Police. Let's just see if this plays back. There we go. So that's me in my office, and we're having a conversation. You can hear the conversation with the team. But if one of them hasn't got the time to sit and look through, watch the whole 20-minute recording, all they actually need to do is, for example, let's say they were worried about the slide preparation, is type slides, and it shows them everywhere in the conversation we were having that the word slides was mentioned. So people can search for actions, they can search for their name, they can search for projects they're interested in, and jump straight to that part of the conversation.
Pretty much kind of ditch all the slide work, because that's just a setup.
So again, taking advantage of the rich AI to just allow people to get things done faster. And then, of course, the last thing is, so you've all got, how many people are using Teams? Lots of you. How many of you use video? Not nearly as many. So you've all got the capability, you've got webcams in your machines, you've got the capability whether you're using Cisco or Skype for Business or what have you. Challenge for you, put the video on next time you do a conference call and see the difference it makes in the quality of the interaction. Right? No longer are people doing email and not paying attention or going out the room to make a cup of tea. They're also looking you in the eye and you're actually getting real human communication. Now, whenever I say that, I get two natural reactions. One is, well, I haven't done my hair, I haven't shaved, I haven't done my makeup, I haven't got dressed correctly. Well, you do those things when you go into the office. How hard is it? Number two is, well, I'm working from home, I don't want people to see where I live, or I'm out and about and I don't want them to see where I am. We can solve for that too now. So if I just go temporarily and fix up a Meet Now, imagine I was setting up a conference call, and I'm going to join that, and this is going to show me me on screen, horrible, but anyway. Let's say I didn't want this background. There we go. At the moment, I'm obviously the only one there. A little bit slow on the Wi-Fi. But let's supposing I was sitting at home and I didn't want people to see where I am. All I can do is do background effects, and I can be anywhere I want. So I could be sitting on the beach. That flips behind me, and even though I move around as I have conversation, right, I can now be anywhere. So I take photos of my office, and I can appear to be in my office when I'm down the pub, anywhere you like, etc. Right? You can really literally appear anywhere. You can put corporate images, etc. on the background. So Teams brings it all to life. It allows people to communicate with video. It stops people having to worry about where they are or how they're dressed, etc. But it means you can have much richer conversations. So Teams really brings it all to life. You can obviously do Teams from the phone as well. We're out of time to be able to show you that. So I just want to sort of wrap up, going back to my original presentation. I hope that what I've done today is started to show you a little bit around how the Office Pro Plus cloud-connected versions of these applications use AI to allow people to get richness of data and insight out of their spreadsheets, to create PowerPoints quicker, to take notes better in meetings, to make sure they don't miss actions, to have all of that flow across, whether it be their PC or their phone, whatever phone they're using. So how do you go about this? We talk about getting modern with Microsoft 365. Everything you've seen today relies on the Office applications, the Office Cloud, Teams, and so forth. And it really is the most productive version. Of course, it's most secure as well, because you're working on the M365 stack with an Azure identity as the center of all of this, you can therefore clearly lock down all the information using all your corporate policies. And actually for IT as well, this is the lowest total cost of ownership, because we keep it all up to date. It's always in the cloud. People have always got the latest versions, and that's a whole nother presentation around how you manage that. So how do you deliver this? Really what you need to do is go back into your organizations and think about what's the vision we're trying to do. Do you think bits of what I've shown you today would make the people in your organization more effective and efficient in the way that they do their jobs? In which case, figure out what are the personas that you need to build for? What are the scenarios that you want to create? And then how do you want to start deploying and rolling this up? And critically, don't forget a change plan. And we have plenty of Microsoft partners who can do this. Because much of the technology fails, not because of the technology, but because of the people implementation. Remember what I said at the start, how is life different from that person sitting at their desk? And most of the reason it's not is not because you guys don't own the technology or you couldn't deploy it easily, it's because we haven't engaged the users and shown them the better way of working, given them the training, etc. So go get buy-in at senior management, build a plan for how to roll it out, get the executive sponsorship and make sure you have a communication and a training program, because the objective here plays back to Microsoft's mission, which is about how do you use these latest tools, technology and AI to empower every person in your organization to achieve more. Thank you.